I'm Jeff Mowatt. Having worked with leaders for over 30 years to enhance their customer service culture, I've discovered there are 3 leadership skills that enhance team spirit, strengthen customer loyalty, and reduce conflicts. Keep these in mind when you're the top dog of any size of team. Judging by the way we elect some of our political leaders, you'd think that the most important leadership skills would be popularity, an outgoing personality, and loyalty to your supporters. Coincidentally, those just happen to be 3 of the most outstanding traits of our aging dog, Cassie. Cassie is popular with everyone she meets. She's outgoing to the point of being embarrassingly familiar with strangers, and she's loyal to us and anyone else at the dog park who happens to have a milk bone. It could be the only reason she hasn't been elected to public office is that she has breath issues. Well, as I mentioned, over the 30 years that leaders have been bringing me in to enhance their customer service culture, I've discovered that the most effective leaders share these 3 leadership skills. Keep them in mind when you're leading the pack. Our first leadership skill is get them pulling in the same direction. Too often, leaders expect people to follow them because the leaders have a job title. Effective leaders' pride is not centered in their job title, but in their people. In fact, they go as far as to involving their team members in the creation and support of the corporate mission statement. People discuss why they do what they do for a living. You discover shared values and an underlying purpose to going to work beyond just taking back a paycheck. People want to work in an environment where they feel like they're part of a greater good. Now, they can be forced to work for you because you got a title. Captain Bligh adhered to that philosophy before his crew mutinied. Effective leaders think of themselves less as being a boss and more as an activist, rallying support for a worthy cause. People will support a leader who has a sense of mission and whose values match their own. Captain Bligh was a tyrant. Abraham Lincoln, who had a higher sense of purpose, was an activist. How about you? How often do you talk with your team about the greater good that you and your organization is achieving? Since I mentioned Captain Bligh and Abraham Lincoln, I'm curious as to who your favorite leaders in history are. I'm going to ask you, if you can, send me an email or post a comment below about who your favorite leaders in history are. Our second leadership skill is sniff out the right information. Leaders who focus mainly on day-to-day operations tend to assume that the way to enhance productivity is just have people work more efficiently or work harder. Efficiency is not usually the issue. There's no point in trying to find ways to work more efficiently if, in fact, our products and services are not in line with market needs. It's kind of like, we can find a faster way to go up the ladder, but there's no use in doing that if the ladder is leaning on the wrong building. So our goal as leaders is to make sure that we're heading in the same direction that's in line with our customers' changing needs. So here are a few tools that you can use. Ask your competition. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy, but the reality is you can learn a lot from your competitors. And the way we can do that really easily is join your professional trade association. It's filled with people who understand that none of us is as smart as all of us. Insecure leaders shun the competition. Effective leaders learn that today's competitor may well be tomorrow's business partner. Another tool to ensure that your team is heading in the right direction, ask your customers. A lot of managers think that they have a good understanding of the customer's needs because they interact with customers all the time. Well, the reality is that customers don't always tell us what they think. I mean, think about this for yourself. How many times, I wonder, have you been at a restaurant where the service was mediocre? The server asked, how was it? And we kind of go, yeah, fine. Because typically we don't want to raise a fuss, but we quietly decide that next time we're going to go somewhere else. Statistically, only 1 out of 27 unhappy customers actually complains. So effective leaders know that they need to proactively seek information about what customers actually think. And here's a little tip when you're seeking customer feedback. Hire business students to conduct your surveys. One of the reasons that it works so well is students get better response rates on surveys than even professional consulting firms. And the reason is a lot of people who are surveyed don't mind helping a student with their class project. And the bonus is students work for the price of craft dinner. And who doesn't like craft dinner? One of the most valuable tools for ensuring that your team is heading in the right direction is ask your employees. After all, they're the ones who are interacting with customers more often. Last but not least, when it comes to ensuring that you're heading your team in the right direction, is educate yourself. Complacent leaders are know-it-alls. They seem to believe that they're the ones who are supposed to come up with the great ideas to steer their organization. Visionary leaders, however, rely on other people's experience and tap into that to steer their organization in the right direction. So enlightened leaders attend seminars, read books, articles, watch videos. And by the way, good for you for watching this one. Since we're on the topic of continuous learning, now would be a good time to touch that subscribe button so that as I release new videos, you'll receive them. If you like this video, I think you're going to love my 30-second tips, which you'll get for free at jeffsbusinesstips.com. That brings us to our third and last leadership skill when it comes to leading the pack, and that is no tricks here. And here I'm talking about integrity. Leaders with a title only ooze with golden promises and great intentions. They seem to think that the key to success is popularity, and they try to deliver on promises. In other words, they lie a lot. I don't mean to be crass, but a lot of folks say things like, I'll try to get this to you, or they make commitments that they just don't keep. If there's one attribute that I think distinguishes leaders that people are willing to follow, and that is that effective leaders underpromise and they over-deliver. In other words, if you make a commitment, you keep it no matter what it costs you to whomever you make that commitment to. And that builds a reputation that people trust. As someone with a title, you are the big dog, trotting by the yard where the neighborhood dogs are lounging. Whether you lead like a visionary or just bark out orders will determine whether or not they're motivated to follow you in the pack or just stay on the porch. Well, I hope you found this to be helpful. And as I said, if you like this video, I think you're going to love my tips, which you'll find for free. They're 30 seconds long at jeffsbusinesstips.com. See you next time.